Greetings, guys. Eugene here, and this is the last part in our series on Illustrator's 3D effects. And right now we're talking about mapping art. Now you'll notice that this is not actually a effect. It's a property of an effect. So in other words, if I make a square like this one, okay, we're just making a little square. I'm gonna hold down Shift when I make this square. And I thought about pre-making this artwork for this video, but I'm just going to make it in the video, so it's a little bit more useful. It'll make the video a little bit longer, but I'll, whatever. So, effect 3D, and I'm just going to extrude. This works with revolve as well, but you'll hear about why I don't suggest using it with revolve here in a minute. So, nothing's different from the other videos. I'll take the extrude depth out. Why not? Make this more of a box, like the example that I gave for the homework. And how does map art work? Well, it's a feature down here at the bottom. I mean, you have to turn on, well, you don't turn anything on, actually. You just click it, map art. You notice this shows me 6 faces. If you were to unfold this box, it would have 6 faces on it. It had 1 face, but when I made it 3D, it got 6. So some faces you can see and some faces you can't. When it's gray inside this box, it means it's not a visible face, but you'll see it highlighted in red out here, which is a little bit confusing because of the fact that my actual box is red, but you can see it. That's gray, I can't see it. That's gray, I can't see it. That's gray, I can't see it, but that's white. Okay, so that's white, so if I want to, technically I should be able to see that. I don't see how, but and so I can choose what's called a symbol, and I can grab one of these, and there you go. I'll show you how to make a symbol in a minute. So any visible face, this is a visible face, so I could pop a symbol on it. And this is a visible face, so I could pop another symbol on it. But any visible face, I can actually pop symbols onto. So all you have to do is save images of symbols, and then you can map them on here. You can make these bigger and smaller. You should have some defaults some default symbols you can pick from in this list right here. You won't have the same as me because I just happen to be looking at web icons. Yeah, I guess I was bored when looking at web icons. But you can just bounce through here. If it's gray, don't even think about it. It's not going to work. You can stretch these out. You can choose scale to fit, which is ridiculous. You can choose clear to turn it off. You can clear all to clear all the faces off. One of the things that's kind of handy is to shade artwork. So as you can see, to create this 3D effect, you've got like gradients on here that create the shadows and highlights and midtones. So if you check, but if you check shade artwork, see how it started to kind of match the shading there, which is great. So I always check shade artwork when I'm actually doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because we're talking about how do we make symbols now, because we know how to map art. Hold on. Thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know why I said thank you, but I'm assuming you said bless you, right? All right. So if you didn't, that's okay. All right. Let's cancel this. And well, we'll go back in there in a minute. I'll just leave that on. So if you want to make a box, if you want to make like something like I did, basically all I did, and I didn't work really hard at it, but I just made a square and then I just sort of chopped it up. So I'll make something similar. It's not going to be pretty, but basically I'm going to drag a little board across here, we'll say. I'll make it like a medium brown, something like that. Okay, notice that I made a perfect box, so these should be about the same size. See that? That was kind of intentional. Then, I can make a wood grain, but I'm not going to do it right now. Like, you know how to do that. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, then, you're definitely not trying super hard, but I'm not going to be upset with you. It's whatever. This is something where you're just trying to demonstrate you get the overall concept. You may not use it on assignments in this class, or you might use it on assignments in this class, but the truth is I want you to know about it, so it's when you're working professionally, you're not looking like you don't know what you're doing, and if you have the opportunity to utilize one of these cool deals, you can. When I rotate, I'm holding down Shift, so it rotates in 90-degree angles. Well, actually 45-degree angles, sorry. Okay, great. This is great. Not everything's lining up perfectly, but whatever. I'm going to press the I key and I drop and grab this shape. There we go. Great. I've got a box. I'm going to bring this shape to the front, so I'm going to press Control Shift and the right bracket. And this one, Control Shift from the right bracket. I'm going to use the Align panel a little bit to try and align these things up because I don't think they're perfectly lined up. Yeah, I'm getting pretty happy. Well, I didn't need to do that. Let me align this to the perfect right. There we go. And these two, actually, all three of these. We'll line them all up to the right. Then great. So that should line up great, and that's going to make this guy act up. I'm going to press Control Y, go to Outlines mode, and try to line this up perfectly. This is all stuff that is just me being anal, but whatever. There we go. Great. We've got a box that... Wait a minute. What's happening with the bottom of this box? Don't embarrass me, box. What is this? Let me press Control Y and figure this out. Yep. There we go. There's my problem. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. So let me just line this up. Control Y just lets me see the edges. That's all. All right. Okay, it does not want to line up perfectly for some devilish reason. Let's see if I can get this to line up to the top. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I love you, Illustrator. You're so wonderful. Actually, I do love Illustrator. It did do its job. So here we go. Now, this box over here, the proportions on it, if you look at it, it's 153 by 153. So if I remember those dimensions, that's going to help me here in a minute. But let's make it a symbol. Let's go ahead and go over here to the Symbols panel. We'll have to open it, Window and Symbols. Depending on when you're taking this class, I've been meaning to move the symbols lecture before this 3D class. I have them backwards for some reason at this point. So well, for some of you listening to this, you might be learning about symbols, like next week, and that's weird. But they're really easy to make, and we talk about a lot more than symbols because it takes me 5 seconds to show you how they work. Because the truth is, all you do is you drag it in there, and you can. Symbols are just reusable graphics. So if I say box, there it is. The box is in there. That's all I did. I drag it in there. If I drag it back out, I've got a symbol, and that's an instance of a symbol, and we'll talk about that next week. But you don't have to know that for this week. Just know you can drag stuff in there. This other stuff, if it's bothering you, if you're like, I don't need any of it, just drag it down to the trash can, okay? I mean, who cares? We'll just delete them all. And that guy wouldn't delete because, well, he's applied to something. Now, the other thing that I made was some graphic, like a stamp or something like that, which I can still type out here. I forget what it's like, fragile or something, right? So what if I just type out fragile? Fragile. Right, we'll just grab that, shrink that down. I could make that look stampy and have some fun with it, try to be fancy, but I'm not going to because I'm in a hurry. So let's go ahead and go like this. Pick out a red. Wonderful, and fragile is, wait, fragile is, yeah, that's a good size. We'll drag it in there. All right, I don't care about naming it. And don't worry about whether there's a movie clip or a graphic. That has to do with Adobe Animate, another class that I teach. And for some of you guys, that might matter. For most of you, it won't. But today, we're not going to deal with it. So both those are in there. So all I have to do is go back to the effects for 3D Extrude and Bevel. And I could also get there using the Appearance panel, which we learned about, well, in a prior class. I want to say last week, but that could change in the future. Now, what do I do? Well, first off, I kind of wish that I had centered up on the screen closer to this box. There we go. I like that better. I'm remembering that number of 153, by the way. That's still in my head. Because I want this to extrude 153. Then it's a perfect box. So that should give me a perfect box. That's going to matter because I'm working with a square. Okay, great. So it's 153 all the way around. Everything's the same size. So then I'll go to Map Art and work my way through. Actually, that's actually white, isn't it? So maybe I'll map the box on there. Yeah, there we go. Good. Because that first face is white. The other faces you can't see. And I'll keep moving around. That one I'll clear. and then I'll add the box. And maybe I'll add fragile as... Wait a minute, I can't add fragile as well, can I? Well, lets me add one at a time. Ah, crap. It looks like I should have made fragile... Shoot, I'll go back there and fix that. I'm not remaking this video, and it's okay to make mistakes. I'm talking to myself. Alright, good job, Eugene. You're messing everything up. Let me rotate this around as well. I'll rotate this guy around. Come on, rotate. Come on, I don't want to rotate you. That doesn't look right. I want to rotate the other one. Alright. Let me put that back in there and go back to the other guy. This is the one I want to rotate. Rotate, my friend. I held shift and that kept the proportions straight, so that actually looks okay. And we got one more to add at the very top. And there you have it. That looks pretty cool. But of course, none of them are saying fragile or whatever, so that's a problem. And that's not a hard thing to do, because all I do is, you know, this. I'll put this in the box, tilt it sideways, you know, and grab it and drag it into the appearance panel and just make another appearance out of it. The symbols panel. Lord, I'm getting my panels confused. Don't you love when your instructor gets flustered? You know you do. You're terrible. And back to it. There we go. We'll take that top panel. We'll go to map art. And we'll put this on here. You can map art onto anything. Like I used to do like a peanut butter, a peanut butter jar. But sometimes, and I did it with Revolve. But when you use Revolve, you'll get like sometimes 20 or 30 or 100 faces. This has 6 faces on it. So, I mean, and some of those faces are really hard to map to. So that's why I did it the way that I did it. So I kind of changed it up. So in this case, I'll put fragile on top. See? Isn't that beautiful? And I think I will rotate it. Let's rotate it. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Okay, great. Actually, I don't think it looks amazing, but it looks okay. Let me turn on shade artwork, and look at that. Oh, that looks so much better. Look at that. It's amazing. Huge difference, right? I'm so proud. Look at my box. You, too, can make a box like this with the 3D mapping tool, which works with Revolve and Extrude. And you'll notice that I didn't talk about Rotate, and I'll just mention that. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade on Rotate, but Rotate is not one that I pay a lot of attention to. But I'll tell you what it does. Just toss it in here. Like, I'll type out the word hello, right? Hi there. And if I go to Effect and 3D and Rotate, it doesn't extrude it. It just rotates it. That's it. So it just rotates it, and doesn't work in perspective. So I probably should have added that to the end of the extrude video, because basically it's the same thing as extrude, but it doesn't extrude anything. And I can see situations where you might use it, but there's other tools in here to do this sort of stuff with that I need to make new videos on, actually, that they've added recently. I've never come in and used this, but I guess it could happen, and I could have a reason to use it. But you don't have to show an example of Rotate. I just didn't want Rotate to feel left out. You know, if Rotate was a person, they might get their feelings hurt. So who knows? Technology might develop feelings at some point before they kill us all. All right. Sorry about the thing I just said. I'm just kidding. They're not going to kill us. They're probably just going to make us their personal slaves. All right. Now that's, or they'll use us as batteries, like in the Matrix. I think that'd be likely. And I don't care. Like, if you plug me into an alternate reality and you keep me happy, you know, and I don't know about it, I'm cool. I'm cool. If I find out about it, though, I'm going to pull a Neo on you. But, or maybe. I don't know. I don't know. All right. I'm digressing here and saying silly stuff. So, hey, I'll talk to you guys later. Contact me if you have any questions. Party on, dudes.